Hi guys, welcome to our daily encounter. In Ezra chapter 9 and 10, as we get to the end of Ezra, we find that these exiles had come back and they had rebuilt the altar, the foundation, and even completed the temple, that the people of Israel, the Levites and the priests, had taken up wives of the lands around them. It tells us in verse 1, it says, "Now when these things had been completed, the princes approached me, saying, the people of Israel and the priests and the Levites have not separated themselves from the peoples of the lands according to their abominations." So they had not separated themselves from the peoples of the land, but they took unto themselves these wives. And in taking in these wives from the land, they would lose their distinctness, their separation, and they might be influenced by the peoples of the lands, as they had these women from the people of the lands. Much of what happened to Solomon, if you remember, he too had foreign wives, and they led his heart away from the Lord. And that becomes a concern in the congregation of the exiles. And this is brought to Ezra, and Ezra just is beside himself. He prays to the Lord, he confesses to the Lord what they had done. And in chapter 10, we see them actually taking action to try to remedy the situation. So as we think about this situation, we could even look to ourselves. Not that we maybe have married the wrong person or anything like that, but it might be that, spiritually speaking, we might have done the same thing that these exiles had done. We too have been called out of the world to come to God. We've been, as we talked about before, we've come to the altar and the sacrifice, the burnt offering of Jesus Christ. He becomes the foundation, and then the temple is built upon that foundation, and we ourselves are the temple, and we are the holy priesthood, the royal priesthood before God. But it might be that we have allowed ourselves then to join ourselves to the world, and in a sense, be married to the world. And that is, we have given our affections, our love, our devotion over to the world and the things of the world. And that's very easy for us to do these days, because it's no longer the case that you got to go out into the world. Through technology, the world comes directly to us through our TVs, through our smartphones, through our iPads, music, whatever the case may be. The world just is constantly trying to contact us and trying to pull us in to think that, okay, this type of thing is important, and you need this and you need that, and just constantly trying to reel us in. And if we're not careful, we'll become married to the world. We'll begin to love the things of the world more than our love for God, and we'll lose our distinctness and we'll lose our separation, much like the people of Israel, the Levites and the priests did in Ezra chapter 9. And so that makes the scripture that was written by the Apostle John in 1 John chapter 2 all the more important. In 1 John chapter 2, this is what John says about our relationship to the world. He says in verse 15, "Do not love the world, nor the things of the world. If anyone loves the world, the love of the Father is not in him." And so we got to ask ourselves, are we loving the world too much? Is the world squeezing out our love for God? What do we think about throughout the day? That could be an indicator to what we love more, either God or the world. Are we constantly thinking about the things of the world, how we can achieve in the world, how we can obtain in the world? Are we constantly thinking about being entertained by the world? Or is our minds fixed on Christ, and our eyes fixed on Christ, and our minds constantly drawn to the Father, loving the Father, worshiping the Father, praising the Father, loving Him above all else? Which are we living for? In Psalm 73, Asaph had came to the point where he said, "There's nothing on earth that I desire besides you," and talking to God. And that's the point that we should get to as Christians. And if we get to that point where we love God above everything else, then we'll see our separation becoming more and more pronounced. And we will become the separated people, the saints of God, the ones who are truly separated from the world, separated unto God, in a deep abiding relationship with Him. And that's what we want to be. So with that, guys, I do thank you for watching the video today. I hope you guys have a great day. Love you guys. God bless.